All right, our next question comes from Brian M., who writes, "You guys are my Siskel and Ebert." Thank you. "I really love the show and wanted to ask, what happened to the sequel for M. Night Shyamalan's movie Unbreakable? I love this movie and was, in my opinion, the best movie he has ever directed, next to Sixth Sense, of course. Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson were amazing. Please tell me a sequel is coming, or has time made this only a cult classic?" Well, Brian, I'm with you. I mean, most people love Unbreakable. I really liked it. I don't know that I say I loved it, but I really liked Unbreakable. It was definitely one of Shyamalan's better films. It's such a creative and different take on kind of the superhero genre in a very non-superhero way. Like, people say The Dark Knight is very gritty and realistic. Nothing compared to the realistic feel of, if you were going to have superheroes, the realistic feel of Unbreakable is definitely, like, that's the most realistic feel to a superhero film I've ever seen. And you're right. There was talk of a sequel for quite a while. However, I don't think Disney is ever going to work with Shyamalan again. There is a famous story, and of course, Disney was basically in charge of everything that Shyamalan did up until Lady in the Water. Because Touchstone produced it, which is owned by Disney. Buena Vista distributed it, which is owned by Disney. So it was a big Disney thing. Now, what happened was this. They were getting ready to make Lady in the Water, which, yeah, I'll say it. It is one of the worst wide-release studio motion pictures in history. I put it on the same level as Battlefield Earth, Catwoman, Highlander Part 2. I mean, this really is one of the worst films in history, ever, in the history of mankind. That's how bad Lady in the Water is. It's awful. So, what happened was, they were getting ready to make this film. And there's a very famous story. You can look this up online for the full details. But there's a very famous story about how one night the head Disney executive had a dinner meeting with M. Night to talk about the script and the problems they had with it. Because Disney had some real issues with it. Say, look, this part isn't good. You're making the film critic the villain. You make yourself the writer, the one who's destined to save the world with your writing. You do this and you do this and you do this, and we have real problems. I think this needs a rework. Shyamalan was so angry that basically, he stormed out. He took the picture, they left Disney, all this kind of stuff. It was one of those things where a filmmaker and an artist got so big, and this is always a part of my argument about people who say studios shouldn't interfere with filmmakers. Nonsense. This filmmaking is a collaborative effort. And when filmmakers get too powerful or stop listening to other people around them, that's when they start making huge, huge errors. M. Night at that point was very hot and very popular. And he was just at a point where he didn't believe he had to listen to anybody else. And he believed his script was perfect. And so he stormed out of that meeting with the Disney executive, essentially said, "Screw you, I'm making this movie the way I want to." And they left Disney, they parted ways. And of course, the Lady in the Water got picked up by another studio. He went on to make the film, and it went on to become one of the worst films in the history of cinema. Have I emphasized that part enough? One of the worst films ever. And so I really don't think, and I don't know where the rights to Unbreakable lie. I don't know if they actually belong to Disney. I believe they do. But because of that, you're never going to see Disney, I don't think, work with M. Night again. I could be wrong. Maybe they have some involvement in the upcoming After Earth. I don't think they do, but imagine they did. That would prove me wrong really quick, wouldn't it? But yeah, I don't think we're ever going to see an Unbreakable. I would be with you. I mean, I would really be curious to see another film. What happens to Mr. Glass and what happens? I would want to see it. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think there's just way too many behind-the-scenes roadblocks to ever making it happen. And I think you're right. I think you pointed out in your question, I think too much time has passed because we're now 13 years later. And I don't know that Bruce Willis would want to come back. I don't know if Samuel Jackson would want to come back. So there's all these in front of the camera issues and all these behind the camera issues. Because of that, I don't think we're going to see it happen.
Hey guys, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and will keep you up to date on all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to find out about our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.